Today on Slope's Game Room we're going to be focusing on Disney's first animated classic, which is of course Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. So here we are, the one that started it all. First shown on December 21st, 1937. So the story of Snow White doesn't really need any explaining, but in case you are that one person that doesn't know the story of Snow White, here I am to tell you. The main star of the movie is obviously Snow White, a beautiful young princess living in a massive castle under the reign of her evil stepmother, the Queen. Now when I say this Queen is evil, I'm not joking. In fact, I would say the Queen is so evil, she's bordering on psychotic. You see, the Queen's got this weird obsession. She wants to be the fairest in the land. So how does she do this? By talking to her magic mirror, of course. One day the stepmother asks the magic mirror, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all?" The mirror instantly knocks her down and they realise that Snow White is in fact the most beautiful of all. In a fit of jealousy, the evil Queen decides that the best way to handle this is to send her off into the woods with her huntsman and kill her. We're not done yet though. The Queen wants proof and she wants the huntsman to cut out the heart of Snow White and bring it back in a nice delicate box. So the huntsman with his new orders takes Snow White into the woods and at the last minute decides he can't do it. Hooray, the crowds cheer. No one's dying in the movie. Well, he still needs to take a heart back, so he decides to hunt a pig, rip that heart out, put it in a little box and take it back to the Queen. She'd be none the wiser, right? Reminder, she has a magic mirror. Anyway, Snow White has this weird, crazy panic attack in the middle of the night and thinks that all the trees are after her and whatnot. And to get away from it all, after she's had a little sob, she does a bit of breaking and entering into the dwarf's cottage. Now, I don't think Snow White's bad just because she's done a bit of breaking and entering. She does give the place a good clean. And now we move on to the Seven Dwarfs. Dopey, bashful, sleepy, sneezy, grumpy. Doc, bashful, grumpy, happy, sleepy, sneezy. You always forget one. These are the guys that live in the little cottage. They return home one day from their digging in the mines, and they don't seem to be too upset about Snow White being there, and they're happy to let her stay. Anyway, the dwarfs go back to work the next day, and the stepmother asks the mirror again. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all? It's still giving the same answer, so Snow White must still be out there. So, deciding to take matters into her own hands, she conjures up some crazy spell, which makes her probably the ugliest of them all, and dips this apple into some poison thing and wants to give this to her. Long story short, she goes into the woods and tricks Snow White into actually taking the apple, and it puts her into an eternal sleep or dead or one of the two. The dwarves put her in this glass coffin and everyone has a little cry. But never fear, a handsome prince gallops through the forest. You did see him a little bit at the beginning of the film. Because he's got some seriously messed up stuff going on up in here, he gives Snow White a little kiss on the lips. Yes, the dead, weird, in a coffin Snow White, which brings her back to life. She gets on the back of the horse with him and bye dwarfs, bye! End of the film. So for me, the story, yeah, it's pretty weird. But it is based on one of the Grimm brothers' stories and they all are a bit fairy tale weird. All good fairy tales need a little bit of weirdness in them. And when you look at the film as a whole, the fantastic music, the incredible art style, I mean, this was the first full-length animated classic ever. When you hear the term, the film that started it all, they're not joking. I have great memories of this film as a kid. I loved it. Even the cutout scene, which was pretty much fully animated, is also brilliant to watch. And let's be honest, can you name any other films made in the 1930s, especially ones that had a significance as big as Snow White, that had an impact like this? No, you can't. It goes like this. Snow White isn't just a product of its time, it's a product of all time. You really should give it another watch. It's still so much fun to see. And that is my review on Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. On to the video games. And as usual on Slope's Game Room, it's best to start at the beginning. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs on the Atari 2600. Or is it just Snow White as the title suggests? So firstly, the game was never finished. It was half made by Mr. Greg Easter and never saw the light of day outside of one copy somehow being sold at the 2002 Classic Gaming Expo. Now I'm not that rich to own something like this, so let's get emulating. So like I said, the game was never finished and it shows the game really isn't that enjoyable at all. It's more just interesting from a historic point of view. You play as one of the Seven Dwarfs. Which one? Who knows? I think it's supposed to be Dopey. So it looks like the evil old hag version of the Queen is on her way to Snow White, and you need to firstly run through what I assume is the mine, collecting white dots, which I assume are diamonds, and then next You're on some sort of horizontal Frogger type game here. Okay, that was pretty easy. And finally, you're running through the evil trippy forest from the movie. Not really sure how you would die in this section or what you're actually meant to do. Obviously, just like the log section, it wasn't actually finished. Now, for an Amiga game, I think the game showed promise. It sure did look the part considering the system's limited capabilities and captured a few instantly recognisable features from the movie. It's nice to sit and wonder at what else this game could have been. Right, moving on to game number 2, which is funnily enough called Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs for the Game Boy Color. This game came out not long after the Platinum release of the movie in 2001. You start by going around the castle collecting flowers. Then you reconstruct the magic mirror. Although why would you want to? Maybe I'm the evil queen now? Then back to Snow White in the forest collecting butterflies. Then you're in a hedge mage, which for some reason reminds me of The Shining. You get the idea. At least the Atari version looked like it was pushing the system's limits. These are just mini games and maze type levels to try and follow on the story, but they do it poorly. Nope, it's fine, I don't need a password, because from what I've played, nothing in this game kills me at all. Now, considering this was without a doubt the most important animated movie of all time, this is all I can find of Snow White video games. Sure, she showed up in a few non-related games, but as a console gamer, it really is a shame. Next up, we'll be looking at Snow White Queen's Return for Android and iOS. Instead of retelling the story of the movie, this is actually a sort of continuation of the movie. The Queen survived her deadly fall and is still hell-bent on destroying Snow White. Now, don't get this confused with the Snow White sequel that Walt Disney actually planned on making. This has nothing to do with that. You play as one of the dwarves. And yep, it's another Farmville free-to-play type game, or should I say freemium game. It's alright. In all fairness, it actually captures the art style pretty well. It looks like a decent amount of time has been spent on it. It's pretty good. If you want to play games like this, and let's be honest, there are hundreds of them out there, I suppose you can't go far wrong with this one. Now, before we go, I want to talk about one more game, which is actually my personal favourite. This one is Dopey's Wild Mine Ride. This is actually a game originally found on the DVD release in the early noughties, and it really did surprise me at how good it was. It's basically a mini quiz from the movie with mini games in between clips and original content between them. It sounds naff, but for a DVD game it really isn't. 100% worth picking up either on the DVD or the Blu-ray, as it has been ported to that too. Looking at how it plays now, I think it's quite obvious to see what Sega was trying to do with the Sega CD and all those FMV games. But that's a topic for another time. And that, my friends, are the video games related to Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Thank you all so much for watching. Catch us next time when we'll be looking at Disney's second animated classic. Please rate, comment, favourite and subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you all next time.